Right. Milton is an imposing runner, keeps it in.
Pin and pull for Joe Milton only goes for a couple of yards. I mainly included this for the play that we'll see from Ben Mason here, but let's look at the play design. So looking at the backside here, you're going to have Zach Charbonnet working across the line of scrimmage here, and he's going to pick up the defensive end. The two guys endmost on the line of scrimmage here are just going to be blocking down. Their main responsibility, don't let this guy get into the backfield, right? Don't let this guy come back. So these two guys will be dealt with by these three gentlemen that I pointed out there. We'll move forward here. They do a pretty good job here on the backside. Nothing's getting through. Charbonnet picks up his guy as well. So backside blocks here are all good. Let's look at the front side here from Mayfield and Joel Honigford. Joel Honigford probably has the block of the play here. These guys just are trying to seal these two guys, and Honigford really gets really great movement. He actually caves this guy almost behind this defensive tackle. So right here, these two do a really good job getting really great movement. Again, Honigford 85, and as kind of like a jumbo tight end, a larger, like a sixth offensive lineman. And look how much movement he gets. Again, he blocks him behind Mayfield's guy. And that's just really good movement. You know, he's able to get a lot of time this game as this sort of sixth offensive lineman with Eubanks out, and he's making the most of it. So he does a really good job keeping that. That's a big gap for Vistardis to pull into. So let's look at the front side here. You have three guys. You got Ben Mason working up to this linebacker. He's going to crush that guy. And then you're going to have Stuber on a pull. He's going to kick out 16 here, who will be coming up this way. Wrong color there. He'll be coming up this way. And then you're going to have Vistardis coming off the butt here of this block. He's going to try to pick up this backside linebacker flowing to the play. So if you look at Ben Mason here, he picks up his guy. He stays engaged throughout. If you look at Stuber coming around the first puller, he gets number 16 on the edge. Good movement there. Issue here is Vistardis. So look at Vistardis. He's not close enough to the line of scrimmage. You want him to be hugging the line here, really rounding here, forming the left side of this hole. If so, he would have found 45 coming up. Instead, he bubbles out a little bit too much. He leaves too much of a gap. Again, Honigford creates a big gap there. So his eyes are not on the right spot. If Vistardis is able to get his eyes inside here, he'd be able to recognize this guy and reroute. Instead, he doesn't, and that doesn't give a path for Milton. If he did, that would have been a really big gain for Milton. Since he missed him, that guy actually makes the play. And then you have Ben Mason blocking a guy into oblivion on the sideline, picks up 15 yards. Again, tone setting, but can't do that as a captain and a leader.
He's become the man, as a lot of guys do at quarterback. Minnesota with a three-man rush. Milton is still going to get flushed and chased and sacked.
I think this is the only sack on the game. Hayes gets kind of destroyed here. I'm just going to put it bluntly. He doesn't do the best here. So you got only a three-man rush. This is after the last play, the Ben Mason 15-yard penalty. So you only have a three-man rush here. You're dropping 8 into zone for Minnesota. They're just not letting anything come deep. We don't really see anything from Michigan's receivers. We can just assume they're going deep, given his 3rd and 23 here. So three-man rush. This is the matchup you want to watch. Ryan Hayes here. He gets put on what you could call some ice skates going into the lap of Milton here. So Milton didn't have to duck out here. You know, he still has a pocket. The other guys are handled appropriately, maybe getting a little bit of push here, but Mayfield's doing well on number 9. You have 3 guys here on the defensive tackle. This is just the matchup that Hayes is losing and losing convincingly. So that spooks Milton a little bit. Again, I don't know where he would go. He could stay where he is, maybe shift a little this way, right? He could possibly shift a little this way, but that does give leverage number 9 on the edge. So maybe step up, but again, there's too much space here between these guys to do that comfortably. So I don't dislike what Milton did here. The issue is you're going against defensive end in Bofe. I think that's how you pronounce it. Anyway, you get in a foot race with a guy who's really fast for a defensive end, and he tracks him down. So he reads Milton's movements really well. This is just a case where Hayes just needs to do better off the rip here. Again, look at his hand placement. They're outside. He lets the defensive end get the hands inside there and then just uses a power rush to get a few steps back on Hayes. So overall, Hayes, you just got to do a little bit better job if you're him. Milton, I understand why he ducked out. It's more of a good defensive play than a bad offensive play on Milton's part. So you got.
Haskins again. Penetration.
2nd and 2 here, power concept that doesn't really go anywhere. It's a little bit confusing to me what the actual plan was for this play. So let's just look at the backside here. You're going to have these two offensive linemen. Actually, it's going to be Schoonmaker and Hayes kind of open up here on the left side. There's going to be blocking here. They're going to be opening up, just blocking backside. So nothing too much there. And you're also going to have the center of Vistardis kind of join them. You can see Vistardis kind of shuffling down. And these guys just don't want any of these guys on the left side to bleed in. So they just kind of form this backside wall here between these three. So they all do fine. There's you could argue Vistardis, he looks like he doesn't really have anyone to block. Eventually he does pick up this linebacker that is flying downhill here, but this is more of like he's just on the backside here, so he's trying to find someone to block. So you can see him, his eyes went over here. He was checking on this side. Eventually he finds this linebacker. This linebacker does make a nice play and cuts off to actually get Haskins, who decides to go to the backside here. But we'll cover that a little bit later. So nothing too bad there. Again, you can see Vistardis eventually picking up that linebacker. So let's look at the front side here. And sorry, I said Mayfield, that's Hayes on the left side. So on the front side here, you're going to have Stuber picking up this linebacker coming down. Gets him one-on-one. You're going to have Mayfield. Don't know what happened there. You're going to have Mayfield coming up on this defensive tackle. And then you're going to have Honigford kind of whiff on this defensive end. So that's the important things there on the front side. Again, you can see the whiff there from Honigford on the end on number 9. But Stuber and Mayfield do well on their blocks in the center. There you can see 71, 73. They both do fine. So a little bit of a miss there from Honigford, and that sets up a key block that you have from Ben Mason here. I think he's supposed to be going through this hole because you have a pulling Chuck Filiaga as well that I think is supposed to go through here. Since this block didn't go as planned, you have Ben Mason picking up the block here because I think that's where Haskins is supposed to go right here behind the pull from Filiaga. Instead, Filiaga doesn't get enough down the line. He doesn't see this hole that I think is trying to be formed here from Mayfield on the left side. Ideally, you'd have Honigford blocking here with Ben Mason coming through, picking up maybe this defensive outside linebacker. I don't know who this guy is. And then you would have Haskins hopefully following this way. But it's a combination of not pulling to really anywhere for Filiaga, Ben Mason having to clean up number 9, and there's just nothing that really develops play side here. Yeah, McCurry picking up this defensive back St. Just as well. So it's just a play that kind of goes nowhere. There's not really a good gap if you want. Maybe you could argue that you could have Haskins bouncing it to the left side here, but it's just kind of a play with the blocking that you don't really see any really good holes forming. Right here is kind of doomed by this guy. If he wants to try and make a guy miss and bounce, that might be his best option, but he does have 24 on the outside that can contribute. So I probably would like to see just Haskins just barrel into someone. Instead, he's kind of just happy feet around the line of scrimmage, doesn't get any momentum. He gets rocked back for a loss.
At backfield. Charbonnet is the back. He's got the football, but he's going to be dropped.
Pin and pull just gets absolutely blown up by a blitz here. Let's look at the overall play design first before diving into this one. So it's obviously going to Charbonnet here on the outside around here. You're going to have 2 pullers. You're going to have Chuck Filiaga pulling first around the edge here, and then you're going to have Andrew Stuber behind. That's important there. You're going to have Ben Mason working around the line here to really pick up any of the flowing linebackers on the front side here. You're going to have Schoonmaker. I don't know why I always pronounce that one-on-one here. You're going to have just Hayes. You're going to have him kind of reaching here, just sealing off this defensive tackle as they flow this side. One-on-one block in the middle here from Vistardis. And then you're going to have, like I said, the pull from Stuber. You're going to have 2 reach blocks on the backside. And these guys are just trying to come here to catch any guys coming down the line. So whether it's this linebacker, if he waits, you're going to try to reach him as he flows. Backside safety, if he comes up, these guys are just holding things on the back end. These 2 guys are unaccounted for because play is going to the left side. So let's first look at the backside, and you'll see pretty quick what the issue here is. So let's start here. These guys are going for the reach blocks, right? Ideally, you can get to this linebacker. You can see right away, this linebacker is shooting towards a gap that Michigan does not have accounted for. And boom, there it is. So they're not able to get to that linebacker because that linebacker is already on a full-out sprint through this left side A gap, and that's not good. because that gap is left from Filiaga on his pole. So nothing else front side. I could talk about what's going on over here, but honestly, it doesn't matter. The main issue here, 45 blows through here, and that gets right in the way of Stuber's pole. And what that does, as soon as he gets in that, he blows up 71, a good play from 45 to do that. That pushes Stuber into the lap of Charbonnet. More importantly, that creates a good gap for 55, other linebacker right here as well. Stuber's getting held up right here, and they're going to have just a free path from 55 to scream into the backfield as Charbonnet is held up, and that's going to be a big loss on the play. So it's more of a well-timed blitz, well-called blitz for Minnesota than a bad call from Michigan. That's what you call an RPS win. For the defense, sometimes you get got. Good job at 45 blowing up Stuber, and 55 by tracking down Charbonnet, and then it's just a free-for-all for defensive backs to clean up. So they got on that one.
It's cold in Michigan. A lot of guys would have headed back to Florida for longer. Milton down the middle, and it's dropped.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful play. I would put this on the good plays, but Eric All pulled in, buddy. So really clever play design. The last play, I believe, was actually a QB keeper where he ran out. He had pin and pull on the outside, and it was a quarterback keep. Again, Milton's a very patient runner that plays a huge role in this fake here. So play action pass, you're going to have Corum coming this way across. His job is just to block off any defensive end on this side. On the left side of the offensive line, these guys are just, again, pass blocking, holding up these two guys. You're going to have a pull from Stuber. He's coming across this way. This is mainly to pick up anyone on the outside here, namely if this guy's coming up. And then the rest, you just have a 2-on-1 block between Vistardis and Mayfield on the right side. And then you have Schoonmaker, a 1-on-1 block here on 34. Now, let's look at that, and then I'll go into the pass for Eric All here. So everyone picks up their blocks really well. You can see no pressure coming through. The pull from Stuber, he's just pass blocking again after getting to the right side of the line. The defensive back I called out on the edge on the right side there, he's not coming up. So everyone's holding up well, no issue there. Corum's in his appropriate location on the left side as well, protecting the edge. So let's look at Eric All. And this is key because usually if this is a run, right, you're going to have Stuber coming out here, and then you're going to have a seal block here from Schoonmaker. And Eric All usually on the last play, he actually did this, came up and blocked 55, who's flowing to this play, right? You're going to have these linebackers flowing up. You're going to have the safety coming down, and Eric All picks up this linebacker, and that is what usually springs a quarterback run out to this side on a pin and pull. Beauty of this play, Eric All is on the same exact path, right? He's going right here to pick up this block. Just kidding. I'm going up the seam. And by the time that everyone is reacting to the run action here and the pull, it's way too late. And let's watch Milton's eyes as this play develops. Actually, pause that. Let's watch Eric All. He's going right for that linebacker. Boom. See you later, right? And he's gone. And you can see the eyes for Milton. Let's look at Milton right now. His eyes are squarely on this safety. He knows that this linebacker isn't going to be, this linebacker is going to be fooled. He thinks he's coming for a block. These guys are out of this play. This is the guy to watch. When does he sense something's up, right? Because if he's coming up on the play, you got him. You got him right here. If he's really playing the pass here, then, it's not going to be there. But so that's why you have Milton's eyes on that safety the entire time. Right now, this is when the safety's like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble, right? But Eric's already down the seam. He's on his path, and Milton is loading up for that pass. So it's really well timed, really well designed, and it's a really nice pass. And this just sets up so much. When you have Eric All coming at this linebacker, that's the crux of this, right? Because then for every future time that Eric All is coming out to this linebacker, this guy has to think, is this guy going to block me? Is he going out on a route? And that holds up this safety. He has to think every time he sees this guy, is he coming out for a block? And that just makes these guys think an extra second, right? So when it is a run, you're going to have those two guys thinking. That gives you numbers on the outside. That gives you time for your pullers. If it's a pass and these guys are being too aggressive, you get got just like this play. So this is about holding the pen last. You make the defense react to you, see what they do before you can even decide. And that's why this play is beautiful. They set it up really well. It's a well-timed play, well thrown. And Eric All, he made up for it on the next play on a big 20-plus yard pickup. Pulled in, buddy. Oh, well.